Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome again to Snack Thoughts. I say again, welcome to my podcast, Snack Thoughts. And what is my thought for today on this Friday? Well, my thought as is no big secret if you guys have heard of Kevin Samuels. Obviously, I heard of his unfortunate passing as of yesterday, I believe, at the age of 56 or 57. And don't quote me on this. I think they said it may have been cardiac arrest or heart attack, But, in sharing my thoughts on Kevin Samuels, yes, I was subscribed to his podcast on YouTube, and I think I subscribed, to him on Twitter. Now, in being honest, I only watched I watched a couple of his podcasts. But I didn't watch a whole lot. But, I obviously did understand, his purpose and the content that he was pushing out. Now, Kevin Samuels was originally an image consultant, and, what caused him to turn to help out. There are men that were called, educated lames. And what happened, Kevin figured out, saying that, hey, a lot of these, educated guys, well-educated, have excellent jobs, or even if they were blue-collar workers, but they made at least six figures, but they just needed to upgrade in terms of style and maybe a bit more on a swag or how to interact with the opposite sex, so that they would be able to have a better chance at dating females and also eventually getting married. Because a lot of these guys that made money and were had the education or the skills to go along with it, they just personality-wise, or they might have been a bit socially awkward. But Kevin Samuels, took the task of schooling these guys, and getting them up to speed in terms of their image and different things on how they carry themselves, and then also, etiquette and basic things as that a man needs to be considered valuable to a woman. Such as the term he created, high value men. Instead of calling them educated lames, high value men. And the term educated lame, this is something that is started in the African American community with men that were deemed, I guess, as maybe squares, or they don't fit the typical mold of what maybe many black women consider to be attractive. And when they talk about educated lames, I guess they consider them to be socially awkward, or they don't have the swag, etc., 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 etc. But anyway, to make a long story short, Kevin Samuels, took the task on, to take the time out and to school these guys on, how to dress, social, maybe etiquette, and helping to build, their confidence. And his school of training, and thought, it proved to be effective with these men. But what happened is that he started off in the image consultant, but as his following began to grow, he wound up pivoting, towards the women, and explaining to females, what high value men, of a certain class level, what they are looking for in women. And I guess what kind of really blew him up and sparked it up is that the women kept, calling into his show, trying to figure out, hey, what's the cheat code to try to get, these type of men. But what Kevin did, and he did this with the men as well, but he dealt with the men first. But what he explained basically to these ladies is that, hey, there is no cheat code. You have to put the work in, and you have to get with these men, at the right time or the right season. And when I'm talking about the right time or the right season, in the dating and marriage market is different for men and women. women have more of a, in a sense, more of a shorter window because of, number one, of their fertility. And their fertility also, which involves estrogen, it also affects, their youthfulness and their beauty and their attractiveness. To add along to that, also, generally speaking, it is believed that the younger that the women are, is that they may have less baggage and may not be is battle hardened. When once they hit a certain age, they've had different relationships or might have been through divorces, and it's just that through a lot of hurts and heartaches and breakups and stuff like that, a female can become, hardened or kind of, ice cold. So in a sense, it's not much that a man would be able to, necessarily do, with that woman once she's really gotten set in her ways and she's older. And generally speaking, not all, but, most men generally, in the 20s, they want them when they're young. In the 30s, they want them in their 20s. in the 40s, they want them 30s and 20s. But the problem is that you have this age range of men that want the women, when they're young and fertile and their beauty is at its peak, which is understandable. It's understandable. And it is true. In a lot of cases, a lot of men that do have wealth and money, or they make, say, whatever, six figures, a lot of those guys, they like to deal with, certain types of women. It is what it is. And the further they go up the food chain, you can call it trophies, whatever you want. But Kevin Samuels explained that those men have a right to pick and choose whom they want to date or whom they want to marry, just like women do. And to be honest, women are more blatant and bold in what they want in a man. And I believe part of it is because they don't have to face rejection as much as the men do. Men have to go out and hunt and approach the female, so we're more prone to get rejected more, whereas females, they can kind of hide and don't have to face rejection. But what happened is that through Kevin Samuels podcast, he would ask women certain questions, what's your height, weight, dress size, and it's not, and would have them cam up as well, get on camera, so that whereas they could not deceive or trick, or catfish, men. And what he exposed is that there are some females that have unrealistic standards, unrealistic dating and marriage standards. And to be honest with you, men have to accept that, up front. Men learn this early in the game, through high school. You learn, who you can attract, and who you can't, and also what it takes. Now, for men, yes, it does. Resources do make a huge difference in what type of female they can get, because can he afford to take care of her? And if she has offspring, can he take care of offspring? What type of lifestyle can he provide for her? And now, there are other things that do fall into play as far as sex appeal, attractiveness, loyalty. Love. All of those things do fall in place. But most women, a man could have all those nice attributes, but if he doesn't have enough money, to support the lifestyle that she desires, then he's not going to be chosen. And guys have to accept that, or, maybe sexually, physically, he's not packaged right. Men are flat out openly reject. He's too short, or either he doesn't have the package, in his pants that are like, I want this size. And women are real bold about it, and sometimes, can be kind of cold and cruel about it, but guys have to accept that. But what Kevin Samuels did was that he exposed women, and he made them, especially in the black community, that's who he started off with, and then he eventually wound up working his way out, to the other races of women. But to make a long story short, he exposed these women in terms of lack of, work ethic, you can't expect to get a 10 guy and, you coming in as a sloppy 6, or he has to take me, as I am, or, wearing a bonnet, outside in public, not, just not caring, and lack of etiquette, lack of respect, different things that men, require. And definitely, like I said, at that level, what men require. And a lot of women, they were stuck and stumped for answers when he asked them, did you ever figure out what those men want? And many of them could not answer. And he exposed the unrealistic dating and marriage standards of women, in particular African American women. And some, they didn't like it, but they still kept on coming back, calling into a show. And some, trying to get a cheat code. But what he basically laid it out for them is that, hey, there is no cheat code, to success. And that marriage, is definitely, it's hard work. It's work. You can't expect one person to do all the work and, pull the cart, and the other one just sit there and be carried. Both have to put their work in. And he exposed for some, it's like some of you ladies, you waited, too late. You're way past your prime. And then some flat out, even if they were in their prime, for what these guys want in terms of sometimes beauty and physical attractiveness, some women just don't meet the grade. And it's like you have to be realistic about what type of man or partner you can attract. And that's some of what Kevin Samuels did. Now, obviously, he came out of what's known as the Black Manosphere. He's a product. He was a product of the Black Manosphere, and so he took the talking points, and also added, of that particular community, and he brought it to the forefront. He brought it to the forefront and mainstream, so that now all of these points of what men normally would discuss in the barbershop, now it was mainstream. And granted, the Black Manosphere is a split off from the Manosphere as a whole, but which originally with white guys, but then black men had unique and separate, distinct issues that they needed to discuss, so they had to splinter off and create the Black Manosphere. But that's where Kevin Samuels, came from. Now, my opinion, I didn't agree with everything that Kevin Samuels said, but his core, I honestly did agree, because you could take a look at the marriage statistics and divorce rates, and you can look and see how our society has gone in terms of our moral degradation. There's just people don't value relationships like they used to. Marriage is not valued like it used to, and you could see population decline. So he did have some valid points in how, our grandparents, saying people used to hang in there for marriage for the long term. Marriage back then, you stayed for the long term. Now people treat it like it's something like a microwave. If they don't like it, they jump out and they jump out and quit, or either they jump in too soon before they do a serious evaluation of themselves and of the partner they're trying to get involved with. And some just get involved with the wrong partner, and they get involved into marriage and long-term commitment for the wrong reasons. So this right here is what he exposed, and this was to both men and women. But I think he had to go a more deeper dig with the females, because it took more to open up their eyes and make them see exactly what their standards were. And some of it is just unrealistic, and some of it is that they themselves they wanted the easy way, but they don't want to put the work in and do their part. But I would say to Kevin Samuels, he's rest in peace. To rest in peace. He did his thing, and his legacy, lives on. And I would say to, prayers are with his family and his loved ones. But for those African American women that are on Twitter celebrating, his death, I would say to those ladies, hey, y'all shouldn't do that. You don't have to always agree with what someone says or what their opinion, may be, but you should never be glad or celebrate that someone is dead. He was, Kevin Samuels, was not, a tyrant. In my opinion, he was classy, he was refined, and I believe that, he told the truth, and was unrelenting and unconcerned with what people thought of him, or his message. But nevertheless, he was successful. So I tip my hats off, I'm saying, to Kevin Samuel, and Kevin Samuels, and may he rest in peace, and hopefully the manosphere will the black manosphere will take his pick up the mantle where he left off, and will further help to make the black community more positive, and stop all the arguing and the senseless bickering, because we're only here for a season. And like I said, I don't care. I'm I love all people, black, white, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But to stop all the senseless beefing and move on, to bigger and better things. But that's in my opinion, what I believe Kevin Samuels represented. Moving on to better and bigger things. But that's all I have on this one, guys, on a podcast. Hopefully it wasn't too long-winded. But rest in peace, Kevin Samuels. Be sorely missed, and his legacy is in our memories, and is forever and greatly appreciated. The name of this podcast is Snack Thoughts. That's SNAKZTHOUGHTS. And you can find my podcast on Anchor, Acast, Spotify, Spreaker, SoundCloud, Radio PBM, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iTunes, iHeartRadio, and a host of other social media platforms. I also have a YouTube channel, Eric Broadus YouTube. That's ERICBROADUS YouTube. So please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and push it out and share it. And smash that bell to become a subscriber, and also hit the like button if you like the videos. Leave a comment. If you don't like it, hit the unlike button. Please leave a comment. Everyone is entitled to their opinion, and I'd like to hear from you. Also, please subscribe to Snack Thoughts and push it out and share it. And lastly, I'm teaching courses on Skillshare, how to succeed in the military, leadership, cultural diversity, and a host of other topics. So please sign up on Skillshare. I'll leave the link in the description. But rest in peace, Kevin Samuels. Thank you for helping, make things in this world a better place. Peace out, big brother. Later.